Hello everyone. My name is Srivatsa and my team comprises of Shreyas and Tarun, and we are here to give our experiential learning on principle of management and economics. Our topic is economic policies and their effects on industries around the world. Introduction. Economic policies are strategic decisions and actions taken by governments and central banks to influence a country's economic performance. These policies can include fiscal measures, monetary policies, trade policies, and regulatory policies. The effect of these economic policies on industries around the world are profound and multifaceted. By shaping the economic environment, these policies influence the industry dynamics, including competitiveness, profitability, and operational strategies. For instance, trade policies can alter global supply chains and market access, while fiscal policies can impact consumer demand and investment levels. Similarly, regulatory policies can affect industry standards and operational costs. Understanding the interplay between economic policies and industry performance is crucial for businesses, policymakers, and investors. Businesses must navigate these policies to optimize their strategies and remain competitive, while policymakers need to consider the potential industry impacts when designing and implementing economic strategies. Investors assess these policies to gauge their potential effects on market conditions and investment opportunities. This exploration of economic policies and their effects on industries provides insights into how global economic trends and policy decisions shape industry landscapes, influence business operations, and drive economic growth. By examining specific case studies and trends, we gain a clearer understanding of how industries adapt to and are shaped by the broader economic policy environment. Our first case study is the effect of GST on small and medium enterprises in manufacturing. The Goods and Service Tax implemented in India on July 1st, 2017 was a significant tax reform aimed at unifying the indirect tax structure across the country. For small and medium enterprises in the manufacturing sector, GST brought both challenges and opportunities. This analysis will explore these effects and provide a detailed case study of Sundaram Fasteners Limited to illustrate the impact. About the company, we have Sundaram Fasteners Limited, part of the TVS Group, is a prominent manufacturer of automotive components, including fasteners, bearings, and engine components. Established in 1966, it is a significant player in the Indian manufacturing sector, with a range of products used in both domestic and international markets. How did the introduction of GST improve or change Sundaram Fasteners' operational efficiency? GST made tax compliance simpler for Sundaram Fasteners. Before GST, they had to manage multiple taxes for different purposes, which was complicated and time consuming. With GST, they only had to deal with one tax, which streamlined their operations. Additionally, GST introduced the input tax credit system, which allowed Sundaram Fasteners to claim credit for the GST they paid on raw materials, reducing their overall tax burden. What were some of the main compliance challenges Sundaram Fasteners encountered with GST? Sundaram Fasteners faced several challenges with GST compliance, including understanding the complexity GST rules and regulations, managing the transition from the old tax system to GST, and investing in new technology and training for their staff to handle GST requirements. They had to implement new accounting software and train their employees to manage GST related tasks. In what ways did GST affect the profitability of Sundaram Fasteners? GST had a positive impact on Sundaram Fasteners' profitability by allowing them to claim input tax credits. This system enabled them to reduce their overall tax costs, which helped them maintain or even increase their profit margins. By claiming input tax credit on GST, paid for raw materials, they could lower their production costs and offer competitive prices for their products. Did Sundaram Fasteners experience any cash flow issues because of GST? How did they manage these issues? Yes, Sundaram Fasteners did face cash flow issues due to delays in receiving GST funds. To manage these issues, they had to carefully plan their cash flow and financial strategies to ensure they could cover their expenses while waiting for refunds. They might have kept a reserve of funds or adjusted their payment schedules to manage the cash flow gaps caused by the delay in GST refunds. What strategies did Sundaram Fasteners use to overcome the challenges posed by GST? Sundaram Fasteners adopted several strategies such as investing in advanced GST compliant accounting software, training their employees, and consulting with tax professionals to navigate the complex GST regulations. They use software to automate GST calculations and reporting, reducing manual errors and saving time. Has GST made it easier or harder for SMEs to compete in the market compared to before? GST can be seen as both a challenge and an opportunity for SMEs. On one hand, it introduces new complexity and compliance costs. On the other hand, it offers opportunities through input tax credits and a more level playing field for businesses across states. While the new GST rules might require SMEs to adapt and invest in compliance, they also help to reduce the tax burden and create a more straightforward tax system. What changes would you suggest to improve the GST for the benefits of SMEs? Changes that could benefit SMEs include simplified GST compliance processes, reducing the frequency of GST return filings, and providing quicker refunds for input tax credits. These changes could make it easier for SMEs to manage their GST responsibilities and improve their cash flow. Simplifying the GST return process or providing more support for SMEs in understanding and applying GST rules could be beneficial. The inferences from these case studies were that the introduction of GST has had a mixed impact on SMEs in the manufacturing sector. While it simplified the tax structure and provided opportunities for reducing tax liabilities through input credits, it also introduced challenges related to compliance and initial costs. For our second case study, we have the impact of Brexit on the UK automotive industry. We have taken the example of Jaguar Land Rover as a company. Brexit, which stands for British exit, refers to the United Kingdom's decision to leave the European Union following a nationwide referendum held on June 23, 2016. The referendum saw 51.9% of voters opting to leave the EU. This decision marked the beginning of a complex and often contentious process that culminated in the UK formally exiting the EU on January 31st, 2020. The company background is that it's headquartered in Whitley, Coventry, is renowned for its luxury vehicles, with a substantial market share both domestically and internationally. The company sources parts and components from across Europe and exports a large proportion of its vehicles to the EU. The seamless flow of goods and adherence to unified standards within the EU have been critical to JLR's operation and competitiveness. How was manufacturing affected? Firstly, we have increased costs and delays. With Brexit, the reintroduction of tariffs and custom duties on certain goods have elevated operational costs for JLR. Importing components from the EU now incurs additional expenses, impacting the overall cost structure. New custom checks and documentation requirements have resulted in delays at borders. The just-in-time manufacturing process, which JLR heavily relies on, has faced disruptions necessitating larger inventories and higher storage costs to buffer against these delays. Then were the regulatory changes. Post-Brexit, the UK no longer automatically aligns with EU regulations. This divergence means JLR has to ensure compliance with both UK and EU standards, increasing the complexity and costs associated with regulatory compliance. What were the changes observed in supply chains? First, we had disrupted supply chains. JLR's established relationships with EU suppliers have been strained due to new trade barriers. Suppliers have adjusted prices to cover the additional cost of tariffs and custom procedures, affecting JLR's procurement costs. Increased border checks and additional paperwork have led to logistical bottlenecks. Critical components have experienced delays, disrupting production schedules and extending delivery timelines. Strategic shifts were that to mitigate supply chain risks, JLR has increased its focus on local suppliers within the UK. This shift reduces dependency on EU suppliers, but comes with higher costs due to the limited domestic supply base. JLR is also diversifying its supplier base beyond the EU, looking to partners in Asia and North America to reduce reliance on any single region. Was the market access impacted? First, there was a loss of frictional trade. The reintroduction of tariffs and non-tariff barriers has made exporting the EU more complex and costly for JLR. Higher prices and longer delivery times have reduced the competitiveness of JLR vehicles in EU markets. These increased costs and administrative burdens have made JLR vehicles less attractive in the EU market, resulting in a decline in sales to EU customers. The new market opportunities. The UK is negotiating new trade agreements with non-EU countries. JLR is exploring these new markets to offset the decline in EU sales. Although entering new markets presents its own set of challenges, the domestic market focus has been increased, leveraging government incentives for local manufacturing and innovation to mitigate some of the adverse effects of Brexit. What measures can or could have been taken? Firstly, they could have companies should invest in technology and processes that enhance supply chain visibility and flexibility. Then we could explore and capitalize on new trade agreements to diversify export markets. Fine. We could also seek government support and incentives for local manufacturing and innovation to mitigate Brexit-related challenges. Finally, we could stay informed about regulatory changes and ensure compliance with both UK and international standards. The inferences from this case study were that Brexit has presented significant challenges for the UK automotive industry, particularly for Jaguar Land Rover. Increased costs, logistical delays, and regulatory complexities have necessitated strategic adjustments. JLR has responded by diversifying supply chains, exploring new markets, and focusing more on the domestic market. While the long-term effects of Brexit are still unfolding, companies like JLR must continue to adapt to the new trade environment to maintain their competitiveness. The third case study we've done is on the impact of Make in India on the automotive industry by taking the example of Tata Motors. Introduction, we have the launch. The Make in India was launched in September 2014. It is an initiative that is a flagship program by the Indian government aimed at boosting manufacturing, creating jobs, and promoting India as a global manufacturing hub. The automotive industry, being a significant contributor to India's economy, has been a focal point of this initiative. Tata Motors, one of India's leading automotive manufacturers, provides a compelling case study on how Make in India has impacted the automotive sector. Tata Motors, it is headquartered in Mumbai, is a major player in the Indian automotive industry, producing a wide range of vehicles, including cars, trucks, buses, and defense vehicles. The company has a strong domestic presence and a growing international footprint. Prior to Make in India, Tata Motors faced challenges related to high production costs, regulatory hurdles, and global competition. How did it affect manufacturing capabilities? Tata Motors has significantly invested in expanding and modernizing its manufacturing facilities in India. The company established new plants and upgraded existing ones to incorporate advanced manufacturing technologies, improving efficiency and reducing production costs. The initiative has encouraged Tata Motors to increase its production capacity to meet growing domestic demand and support export ambitions. New production lines and automation have enhanced the company's ability to produce a diverse range of vehicles. So there was investment in production facilities and increased production capacity. Why was there a boost in export opportunities? Global competitiveness. By improving manufacturing processes and reducing costs, Tata Motors has been more competitive in international markets. The company has leveraged the Make in India initiative to enhance its export strategy, targeting markets like in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. Tata Motors has successfully expanded its export footprint with increased exports of both passenger and commercial vehicles. The initiative has helped the company establish a stronger presence in global markets and strengthen its brand internationally. How did it support R&D, which is research and development, and innovation? So, Make in India has spurred Tata Motors to invest in research and development to drive information in vehicle design and technology. The company has set up advanced R&D centers in India, focusing on developing new models, enhancing fuel efficiency, and integrating cutting-edge technologies. Basically, they increase the focus on these research and development. Introduction of new models was done. Tata Motors has introduced several new models in response to market demands and regulatory requirements. Innovations include electric and hybrid vehicles aligning with global trends and government policies on sustainability. Now, was there any strengthening of supply chains? There was local sourcing and supply chain integration. This initiative has prompted Tata Motors to strengthen its supply chain by increasing local sourcing of components and raw materials. This move has reduced dependency on imports, lowered costs, and supported the growth of local suppliers. There were also supplier development programs where Tata Motors has engaged to enhance the capabilities of local vendors. By working closely with suppliers, the company has improved the quality and reliability of components, contributing to better overall vehicle quality. Now, what was the impact on job opportunities? The expansion of manufacturing facilities and increased production have led to the creation of numerous jobs, both directly within Tata Motors and in its supply chain. The initiative has contributed to job creation in manufacturing, logistics, and ancillary industries. What can or could have been done? The Tata Motors could have continued investing in R&D. This is to maintain competitiveness. Tata Motors should continue investing in research and development, focusing on emerging technologies and sustainable practices. They could further explore and penetrate new international markets to leverage growth opportunities and diversify revenue streams. This is so that they can expand their export markets. They could also strengthen partnerships with local suppliers and industry stakeholders to build a more resilient and integrated supply chain. Finally, they could also stay agile and adapt to evolving regulatory requirements, both domestically and internationally, to ensure compliance and maintain market access. What are the inferences from this case study? The Make in India initiative has had a profound impact on Tata Motors and the broader Indian automotive industry by enhancing manufacturing capabilities, boosting export opportunities, supporting innovation, and strengthening supply chains. Tata Motors has positioned itself as a more competitive player in the global automotive market. The initiative has also contributed to job creation and economic growth, reinforcing the automotive sector's importance to Indian economy.
So the next case study would be on the impact of tariffs on global steel industry. So this is the analysis of tariff policies in the US and other countries and how they have affected the steel industry, including production, pricing, and trade dynamics. The US steel tariff was implemented by under the Trump administration in March 2018, imposing a 25% tariff on steel imports into the US. So the main aim was to protect domestic steel producers, boost local manufacturing, and decrease their dependency on imports. So we are taking the example of ArcelorMittal, which is the largest steel manufacturer, headquarters in Luxembourg. So the company operates across multiple countries, producing a wide variety of steel products for various industries, including automotive, construction, and appliances. ArcelorMittal was formed in 2006 through the merger of Arcelor and Mittal Steel. ArcelorMittal has operation in over 60 countries and employs more than 100,000 people globally. The global company has a significant presence in both developed and emerging markets. So the key products of ArcelorMittal are flat steel products such as steel coils, long steel products such as bars and rods for construction, and specialty steel products. They serve sectors such as construction, automotive, energy, and household appliances. Uh, what was the impact of US steel tariff on steel production at ArcelorMittal and the broader global steel industry? So the main effects of on this tariff was increased domestic production. The 25% tariff on imported steel under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act aimed to boost US steel production. ArcelorMittal, a major player with the facilities in the US, saw an increase in demand for products as domestic producers benefited from reduced competition from foreign steel. Expansion of US operation with the higher tariff making steel more expensive. ArcelorMittal increased production at its US mills to meet the domestic demands. They invested in upgrading facilities and expanding production capacity. Global production shifts. The tariffs led to a shift in the global steel production. Countries with competitive steel industries outside the US sought new markets, while US producers focused on increasing their market share domestically. Example: ArcelorMittal increased output at its US mills, such as the Indiana Harbor facility, to take advantage of the higher prices for domestic steel. Effects of US steel tariffs on international trade dynamics for the steel industry. So, first point is a diversion of trade flows. The tariffs caused steel exporting countries to seek alternative markets. Countries that previously exported steel extensively to US redirected their exports to other regions, altering global trade patterns. So, second is trade disputes and retaliations. The tariff led to trade disputes and retaliatory measures from other countries. For instance, the European Union imposed tariff on US products in response to the steel tariffs, which affected US exports and strained trade relations. Increased global steel supply. While the US market being less accessible to foreign steel, global steel's supply increased as exporters looked to fill the gap between the reduction in the US exports. Countries like Brazil and South Korea redirected their steel exports from US to markets in the Europe and Asia. What potential changes or alternatives could have been considered to improve the impact of tariffs on the steel industry? So several changes could have been improved the outcomes of the US steel tariffs and mitigated some of their negative effects. So, first one is targeted tariffs. So, implementing targeted tariffs rather than a blanket of 25% tariff could have been more effective. For example, focusing tariffs on a specific countries or type of steel would have minimized the impact on their international trade relationships. Supports for affected industries. Providing support to industries adversely affected by the higher steel prices, such as downstream manufacturing sectors, could have balanced the interest of different parts of the steel supply chain. International cooperation, engaging in international negotiations and cooperation to address global steel over capacity and trade imbalances could have been more productive than unilateral tariffs. Phased implementation, introducing tariffs in a phased manner will uh, with gradual increases could have allowed industries and trading partners to adjust more smoothly to the changes. example. So instead of a broad 25% tariff, a tiered approach with lower tariffs on certain imports and consultations with trade partners could have led to a more balanced outcome. So the next case study is based on the impact of price control policies on the pharmaceutical industry in South Korea. So price control policies in pharmaceutical industry was designed to regulate the cost of medicines and healthcare products to make them more affordable to consumers. So South Korea, with its advanced healthcare system, presents an interesting case study on how price control measures impact the industry. So, this case study explores the effects of these policies on the pharmaceutical industry using the example of a pharmaceutical company called Samsung Biologics. Samsung Biologics, part of the Samsung Group, is a prominent player in the South Korean pharmaceutical industry, specializing in the production of biopharmaceuticals and biosimilars. South Korea has implemented price control measures to curb healthcare costs and make medicines more affordable to its population. These measures include regulation on drug prices, mandatory discounts, and periodic price adjustments. So, what were the effects on the revenue and profit margins? Because reduced profit margins. Because of the price control policies, it has led to reduced prices for many uh, pharmaceutical products, including those produced by Samsung Biologics and other pharmaceutical industries as well. The mandated lower prices have squeezed the profit margins, impacting the company's overall financial growth. Revenue impact: the reduction in revenue from domestic sales have led Samsung Biologics to explore new revenue streams such as increasing exports and focusing on high value biopharmaceuticals. So, how did research and development and innovation change because of these policies? R&D funding constraints. With tighter profit margins, there has been a reduction in the funds available for research and development. This constraint affects the ability of Samsung Biologicals to invest in new drug developments and research and innovative therapies. Focus on biosimilars to mitigate the in order to mitigate the impact of price controls, the company has shifted focus towards developing and marketing biosimilars. So, biosimilars offer a way to compete in a regulated market by providing cost effective alternatives to branded biologics. What changes were seen in the market? Increased competition. So, because of the price controls, uh, it has intensified competition among pharmaceutical companies in South Korea. Lower prices have attracted more players into the market, increasing competition and putting further pressure on profit margins. Export opportunities: to counteract domestic price changes, Samsung Biologics has expanded its focus mainly on international markets, exporting to countries with less stringent price control policies provides an opportunity to offset domestic revenue losses. So, what were the effects on healthcare? So, increased access to medicines. Because of the price control, the medicines have been more affordable for South Korean consumers, contributing to increased access to essential drugs. This aligns with the government's goal of improving public health outcomes. Potential shortages. In some cases, stringent price controls can lead to shortages of certain drugs if pharmaceutical companies find it unprofitable to supply these drugs at regulated prices. This has occasionally affected the availability of some medications in the market. So, what could have been done? Uh, Diversifying the revenue streams. Pharmaceutical companies should diversify their revenue sources by expanding into international markets and focusing on high value products to offset domestic price pressures and increase their revenue for further R&D and processes. Investment in biosimilars: emphasize the development and commercialization of biosimilars, which acts as a good strategy to remain competitive under price control policies while maintaining profitability. Enhance regulatory uh, strategies. developed robust regulatory strategies, and engaged in proactive negotiations with the government agencies to manage pricing relations effectively and reduce administrative costs. Monitoring supply chain impact. Regularly assess the impact of price controls on drug availability and address potential shortages to ensure a stable supply of essential medicines. So, conclusion, price control policies in South Korea have had a mixed impact on the pharmaceutical industry, particularly for companies like Samsung Biologics. While these policies have made medicines more affordable for consumers and aligned with public health goals, they have also led to reduced profit margins, constrained R&D investment, and increased competition. Samsung Biologics have adopted by focusing on exports, biosimilars, and navigating complex regulatory requirements in order to fight these price control policies and remain profitable. So the next case study is on the role of national health insurance schemes in improving healthcare access in Thailand. So, national health insurance schemes are designed to provide comprehensive healthcare coverage to population, ensuring that individuals have access to necessary medical services while without financial hardship. Thailand's Universal Coverage Scheme (UCS), introduced in 2002, is a significant example of such a scheme. This case study explores the impact of UCS on healthcare in Thailand, focusing on its effect on the healthcare system, patient outcomes, and overall public health. So, background of UCS: UCS in Thailand, also known as the 30 baht scheme, was launched to provide affordable and accessible healthcare to the Thailand citizens, particularly those who were previously uninsured and underinsured. Prior to the UCS, Thailand had a mixed healthcare financing system that included social security for formal sector workers as a civil servant medical benefit scheme and out-of-pocket payments for the uninsured. So, what changes were seen in the healthcare services due to this? Expanded coverage. The UCS has significantly expanded access in healthcare services by covering nearly the entire population, including in the rural and underserved areas. This expansion has led to increased utilization of healthcare services, including preventive and primary care. Reduce financial barrier by providing a low cost payment model. The UCS has reduced financial barriers to accessing healthcare to the public. Patients no longer face prohibitive costs for consultation, treatment, medications, leading to increased healthcare utilization. So, what were the improvements in health outcomes? Increased preventive care. UCS has led to a rise in preventive care services such as vaccinations and health screenings. Early detection and treatment of diseases have contributed to improved health outcomes and reduced the incidence of severe health conditions. Enhanced disease management. Access to regular healthcare services under the UCS has improved the management of chronic diseases such as diabetes and hypertension, leading to better patient outcome and reduced hospitalization. How how did it strengthen the healthcare system? Healthcare infrastructure. The implementation of UCS has prompted investment in healthcare infrastructure, including the construction and upgrading of healthcare facilities, especially in rural areas. This has improved the availability and quality of healthcare services. Workforce training. The scheme has supported training and development programs for healthcare professionals, enhancing the quality of healthcare provided and also uh, uplifting the employment for the public. What were the economic and social impacts of UCS? So, financial protection. UCS has provided financial protection to low income families, reducing the economic burden of healthcare expenses. This protection has helped prevent medical debt and financial strain related to health issues. Equitable access. By offering coverage to all citizens, the UCS has prompted health equity in healthcare access. It has reduced disparities between different socio-economic groups and ensured that healthcare is available to everyone, regardless of their income. Were there any other challenges and considerations? So there were some challenges and considerations. One of them are sustainability and funding. While UCS has improved access, challenges related to funding and sustainability remain. Managing the financial resources required to sustain the scheme and addressing the increased demand for healthcare services is an ongoing concern. Quality of care. There have been concerns about the quality of care provided under the UCS. Efforts are needed to ensure that increased access do not come at the expense of quality. So, what would we recommend doing is enhancing the funding mechanisms, explore sustainable funding mechanism to ensure the long-term viability of UCS. This may include diversifying funding sources and improving efficiency in healthcare expenditure. So, improved care, quality of care. Invest in quality improvement initiatives to ensure that increased access does not compromise the quality of care. Strengthen healthcare infrastructure. Continue to invest in healthcare infrastructure and workforce development, particularly in underserved areas, to meet growing demands and enhance service delivery. Monitor and evaluate. Implement robust monitoring and evaluation systems to track the performance of the UCS, identifying areas for improvement and address any emerging challenges. Conclusion. The Universal Coverage Scheme in Thailand has had a profound impact on improving healthcare across the citizens of Thailand. By expanding coverage, reducing financial barriers, and strengthening healthcare infrastructure, the UCS has made significant strides in ensuring that all Thai citizens have access to necessary medical services at a very affordable rate. The scheme has contributed to better health outcomes and greater equity in healthcare access, though challenges related to funding and quality must be addressed to ensure its continued success.
Hello everyone, my name is Tarun and I'll be discussing the other few case studies. This case study here discusses the influence of energy efficiency policies in the industrial sector of Japan. Japan has been a long leader in energy efficiency with range of policies designed to reduce the energy consumption and operational costs. These policies include the Energy Conservation Act, Top Runner Program, which have set ambitious targets for reducing energy usage. In this case study, we'll be taking up Toyota Motor Corporation as an example. We will examine how these policies have influenced Toyota's energy consumption, efficiency, and overall operational costs. Toyota Motor Corporation is a multinational automotive manufacturer headquartered in Toyota City, Aichi. Established in 1937 by Kiichiro Toyoda, the company is known for its commitment to innovation, quality, and sustainability. It operates over 170 countries and regions, with manufacturing plants in more than 27 countries. It is one of the largest automobile manufacturers in the world by sales and market capitalization. Toyota produces a wide range of vehicles, including passenger cars, trucks, hybrid, and electric vehicles. Toyota is known for its focus on environmental sustainability and energy efficiency. The company has been a pioneer in hybrid technology with introduction of Prius and has set ambitious goals for reducing its carbon footprint. How did energy efficiency policies affect energy consumption at Toyota Motor Corporation? Increased energy efficiency. Toyota implemented advanced technologies to help reduce energy consumption and increase the energy efficiency target. This included upgrading manufacturing equipment, improving the building insulation, and also optimizing production processes. Reduction in energy usage. Toyota saw a massive reduction in energy consumption as a result of these various measures that have been discussed. For instance, Toyota's initiatives helped reduce the energy intensity of their production processes, meaning less energy was used to produce each unit of output, thereby also reducing operational costs and energy bills. Achievement of efficiency targets. Under the Top Runner program, Toyota met and exceeded the energy efficiency standards for its production facilities, leading to energy savings and contributing to the conservation goals. For example, Toyota's Tsutsumi plant in Japan achieved a 30% reduction in energy consumption per vehicle produced from 2005 to 2020 by investing in energy efficient technologies. What changes were observed in operational costs due to energy efficiency regulations? Reduction in energy bills. By adopting these energy efficient technologies and processes, Toyota was able to reduce its energy consumption, thereby lowering the energy bills. This had a positive effect on the company's overall operational costs. Increased initial investment. Toyota made a large initial investment in these new technologies to help reduce energy consumption and also to be in compliance with the regulations. In the long run, these technologies help make up for the initial investment by reducing the energy operational costs and the energy bills. For example, Toyota invested approximately 10 billion yen in energy efficiency projects as its Japanese plants, leading to annual savings of around 2 billion yen in energy costs. Our market dynamics and competitive positioning affected by energy efficiency policies. Enhanced Toyota's brand image. By adopting these energy efficient policies and by committing to the energy efficiency standards, Toyota was able to strengthen its position in the market by building its reputation as a leading brand in energy consumption, sustainable energy consumption. Operational efficiency gains. The efficiency gained through the energy conservation measures allowed Toyota to be more competitive in the automotive market. Lowering energy costs contributed to better profit margins and allowed Toyota to focus in other areas of innovation to help produce better products for compliance advantage. By exceeding the energy efficiency targets, Toyota positioned itself favorable compared to competitors, as it was in compliance with these regulations. Example, Toyota focuses on energy efficiency, helped them achieve the highest rating in 2020 Carbon Disclosure Project climate change report, boosting a competitive edge in the automotive industry. What additional strategies could have been implemented for greater impact? Broader technological integration. Implementing a wider range of energy efficient technologies across all plants, including advanced automation and renewable energy sources, could have been implemented to amplify energy savings. Increased employee training and engagement. Investing more in training programs to involve employees in energy saving initiatives and encouraging energy conservation practices could have further reduced energy consumption. Enhanced collaboration with suppliers. Extending energy efficiency measures to the supply chain by collaborating with suppliers to adopt sustainable practices could have led to more comprehensive energy savings, expansion of energy efficiency programs. Toyota could have scaled up this successful energy efficiency program to other regions as well, which would have helped in reducing reducing energy consumption. Our next case study discusses how the e-commerce regulations in Brazil helped or impacted the growth of online retail stores in Brazil. In recent years, e-commerce has become a significant driver of economic growth and consumer choice in Brazil. The Brazilian government wanted to protect consumers, ensure fair competition, and protect the growth of online retail. These regulations include Consumer Protection Code, e-commerce regulations, and General Data Protection Law. In this case study, we'll be taking up Magazine Luiza, which is a leading online retail store in Brazil. Magazine Luiza, commonly known as Magazine Luiza SA, commonly known as Magazine Luiza, is a major Brazilian retail company which was founded in 1957 by Luiza Trajano Donato in Sao Paulo. The company operates both physical and a substantial e-commerce platform. While Magazine Luiza is primarily focused on Brazilian market, it is one of the largest retail chains in Brazil with a significant presence in the online retail sector. Key products. Magazine Luiza offers a wide range of products from electronics to furniture and personal care items. Key initiatives. Magazine Luiza has been at the forefront of e-commerce innovation in Brazil, successfully transitioning from a traditional brick-and-mortar retailer to a leading online platform. How did e-commerce regulations affect Magazine Luiza's operations? Compliance with consumer protection laws. Magazine Luiza had to enhance its customer service and return policies to comply with the Consumer Protection Code, ensuring that the customers could easily return the products and resolve other disputes. Implementation of a secure payment systems. Magazine Luiza was required to implement the secure payment system and provide transparent information about products and services under regulations like the Decree 7.962/2013. Adaptation to data protection requirements. With the introduction of General Data Protection Law, Magazine Luiza invested in systems to manage consumer data securely, ensure compliance with data protection regulations to ensure customer safety. For example, Magazine Luiza updated its website to include detailed and product information, secure payment options, and a straightforward return process in line with regulatory requirements. What changes were observed in consumer protection practices at Magazine Luiza? Enhanced return and refund policies. Magazine Luiza improved its return and refund policies to meet the Consumer Protection Code requirements, offering easier and more transparent processes for customers. Increased transparency. The company had to provide a clear product information, including prices, product description, and terms of service, as mandated by the regulations. Strengthened customer support. Magazine Luiza invested largely in a better customer support system to handle complaints and resolve various issues efficiently. For example, Magazine Luiza introduced a 30-day return policy and a dedicated customer service team to handle customer inquiries and complaints. How did e-commerce regulations affect the growth of online retail at Magazine Luiza? Growth in online sales. The implementation of an effective e-commerce practices and consumer protection measures contributed to a significant increase in online sales and market share as it encouraged customers to shop freely as they were protected under these regulations. Expansion of online services. Magazine Luiza expanded its online services, including new products, offering promotions and digital marketing campaigns to attract more customers. Improve competitive positioning. By complying with the regulations, Magazine Luiza strengthened its competitive position in the Brazilian e-commerce market. For example, Magazine Luiza's online sales grew by 50% in 2020, driven by increased investments in e-commerce infrastructure and compliance with new regulations. What additional strategies could have been implemented for greater impact? Investment in advanced analytics. They could have utilized data analytics to better understand customer preferences and trends, which could have been more effective for the marketing and sales strategies. Expansion of digital channels, increasing presence of multiple digital platforms, including social media and mobile apps, could have attracted a broader audience. Strengthening partnerships, forming strategic partnerships with other e-commerce platforms and logistics providers could have expanded reach and improved the efficiency of the services. Innovation and customer engagement. Investing in a new technology such as AI-driven chatbots for customer service or augmented reality for product visualization could have further enhanced the online shopping experience for the customers. For example, Magazine Luiza could have invested in an AI-driven chatbot to provide 24/7 customer support and used augmented reality to allow customers to virtually try out products. Our next case study is about how the role of public-private partnerships have in enhancing educational infrastructure. Public-private partnerships have become an effective model for enhancing educational infrastructure around the world. These partnerships leverage the strengths of both public and private sectors to address challenges in educational facilities. In India, public-private partnerships models have been employed to improve school infrastructure, increase access to education, and enhance the quality of educational services. This case study explores the role of public-private partnerships in school infrastructure improvement projects in India, focusing mainly on the collaboration between Global Partnership for Education, GPA, and Educom Solutions. Global Partnership for Education, or GPA, is a multilateral organization dedicated to improving education in developing countries. GPA aims to strengthen education systems in developing countries by mobilizing funds, improving educational facilities, and enhancing the quality of education. GPA supports various education projects, including school infrastructure improvements, teacher training, and educational resources development. Educom Solutions is a leading education technology company in India. It provides digital learning solutions, educational content, and infrastructure services to schools and educational institutions. Its main mission is to enhance the quality of education through innovative technology and solutions. Educom Solution offers services such as interactive digital classrooms, education software, and infrastructure development for schools. Excuse me. How did the private-public model policy model affect school infrastructure improvement in India? Enhanced facilities. GPE and Educom Solutions work together to upgrade school facilities, including the construction of new classrooms, provision of modern education tools, and improve of sanitation and health facilities. Increase access. The project expanded access to education by building new schools in various areas and renovating the existing ones to accommodate more students. Quality of education. Introduction of digital learning tools and modern infrastructure contributed to a better learning environment and improved educational outcomes. What changes were observed in educational environment due to PPP model? Model learning tools. The integration of digital classrooms and e-learning resources transformed traditional teaching methods into more interactive and engaging experiences for the students, improved learning outcomes. Students were able to better understand various concepts. Students were benefited by enhanced education resources and better learning environments, which contributed to an improved academic performance. Teacher training. The project included professional development for teachers, equipped them with new skills and techniques for using the modern educational technologies that have been integrated. For example, the introduction of smart classrooms with digital content and interactive tools led to more effective teaching methods and better student engagement. How did the PPP model influence the growth of educational infrastructure in India? Increased investment. The collaboration between GPE and Educom Solutions brought substantial investment into the educational sector, enabling the development of new schools and upgrading the existing ones. Scalability. The success of this model could be scaled up for larger national projects, inspiring further investments and initiatives in educational infrastructure. Sustainable development. The model provided sustainable development practices by focusing on long-term improvement and maintenance of school facilities. For example, the project success led to creation of a framework for future PVP initiatives in the Indian education sector, encouraging further public and private investments. What additional strategies could have enhanced the impact of PPP model? Expanding community engagement, increasing the community involvement in the planning and implementation phases to ensure that the schools met local needs and expectations. Enhanced monitoring and evaluation, establishing more rigorous monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to assess the effectiveness of infrastructure improvements and educational outcomes. Broader partnership models, exploring new partnership models involving more stakeholders, local businesses, non-profits, and international organizations to diversify funding sources and expertise. Innovative technological solutions. Investing in emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, virtual reality could have been used to enhance education experiences and personalized learning. In conclusion, economic policies played a crucial role when it comes to shaping the landscape of industries worldwide. These policies could be useful when it comes to the growth of a company, but could also be an obstacle for its growth. So it is essential for the policymakers to carefully consider potential impacts of decisions aiming to strike a balance that fosters a thriving business environment while ensuring fairness for consumers, such that it does not affect either the company or the business sectors or the consumers. By learning from past experiences and adapting to changing circumstances, governments can implement policies that not only support industry development but also contribute to sustainable growth for the benefit of everyone. Thank you.